Hey, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Xavier Smith, and today I'm going to talk about cosecant. So let's start with what is cosecant? Well, cosecant is the reciprocal of sine, meaning it is 1 over sine. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so cosecant is hypotenuse over opposite. So if we looked at our right triangle, legs labeled AB and hypotenuse C, and we look at angle X, sine of X would equal A over C, but cosecant of x would equal c over a. So let's start. We have our 30, 60, 90 and our 45, 45, 90 special right triangles and our unit circle. And we are going to look at the tables of sine and then use the reciprocal of these values, our outputs, and then put that into our cosecant table and graph it. So let's start with our sine. We have 0, 0, pi over 6, 1/2, pi over 4, root 2 over 2, pi over 3, root 3 over 2, pi over 2, 1. Then 2 pi over 3, root 3 over 2, 3 pi over 4, root 2 over 2, 5 pi over 6, 1/2, and pi 0. So let's just keep these x values, and then our y values will just be the reciprocal. If we kept going on past pi to 2 pi, all these numbers will just start turning negative, and we can easily graph that. So our xy table would be 0, and then 1 over 0 is undefined. So we have an asymptote. Now, we have 1/2, then we just do the opposite of that. This is opposite over hypotenuse, so this will just be hypotenuse over opposite. So flip numerator, denominator, and you'll have 2. Or you could go to pi over 6 on a special right triangle and do 2 over 1 is equal to 2. Then root 2 over 2, our pi over 4, if we just did root 2 over 1 is root 2. Then pi over 3, we'll have 2 over root 3, which will simplify to 2 root 3 over 3. Then pi over 2, we have 1, because 1 over 1 is equal to 1. So then we have 2 root 3 over 3, root 2, 2, and at pi, we have 1 over 0, which is undefined again. So if we graph just this, we'll use pi over 2 because it's between 0 and pi, so it's our middle point. Pi over 2, comma 1. It sits on the line y equals 1. Then I'm going by pi over 4s in my scale, so I'm going to use pi over 4 is equal to root 2, and 3 pi over 4 is also equal to root 2, which is just between 1 and 2. Now, if you see from the graph, we have a middle point at pi over 2, comma 1, and then we go up and reach towards the asymptotes, towards infinity. Now, if we went to 3 pi over 2, went pi away, because at 3 pi over 2, we'd have -1, and then 1 over -1 is equal to -1. So our line would now, our middle point, would now be lying on y equals -1. And then at 5 pi over 4, we'd have negative root 2. At 7 pi over 4, we'd have negative root 2 as well. So we're reaching towards the asymptotes down. So we have asymptotes every pi n. So our domain is x is not equal to pi n. So every pi or 0 pi, there's an asymptote, and x cannot equal that. But our range will be y is greater than or equal to 1, because we have a point that sits on 1, and then our ends go up, reach towards the sky, and then we have y is less than or equal to -1. So then we have a point at 3 pi over 2 that sits on -1, and the ends go down. So less than or equal to -1. So from -1 to 1 in the y value, like all in between that, there is nothing. So I hope this video on cosecant was helpful, and please comment if you have any questions.